Good morning. I fly a lot, here in Asia mainly, and the tendency is to assume that the big companies that build big airplanes must have their act together. Their experts know everything going on in the industry, their supply chains are buttoned up, their management teams are the best that money can buy, and nobody should have those delusions anymore. Every single news story that comes out of this industry is worse than the one we read the day before. There are severe production delays at the big duopoly of plane manufacturers, Airbus and Boeing. We've done a few features on those already. This headline is hard to believe. Boeing faced a major problem a few months ago because of a sudden shortage of nuts and bolts. They were running out of the fasteners needed to hold the 737 MAX together, especially what they need for engines and landing gear. SPS is the sole manufacturer of many of the specialized nuts and bolts for airplanes, and they suffered a major fire at its production facility in Philadelphia. Boeing and all the other aerospace companies scrambled around trying to determine what impact that will have on their operations. GE Aerospace is one of them, trying to figure out who can replace the factory's lost production and identify who has spare parts. Safran is a French company that makes engines and landing gear, and they contacted their suppliers to ask if they were getting parts from SPS. Boeing sent a letter to their suppliers asking them if they regularly used parts from the factory and to explain what the plan is just in case the fire is as bad as it looks on TV. But these are all things that GE and Safran and Boeing should already know. This is manufacturing chain of custody. It's first semester, first week of supply chain management schools. It is business basics, but here we are, and the biggest manufacturers in the world don't know where their nuts and bolts come from. This part is weird. A shipment that was headed to Boeing survived the fire, but Boeing can't get it. Makes us almost wonder if someone figured out the price should be a lot higher now that fasteners suddenly became a lot more scarce. These are not the magnets that come through Chinese rare earth refineries and mines, and also come with heavy strategic and geopolitical significance because they're used in avionics systems for the civilian planes, and also in the manufacture of ballistic missiles and in air defense. These are brackets and screws. These supply chains don't run through regulators in Beijing or Moscow. They're just nuts and bolts. And then a warehouse in Philadelphia burns down and nobody can get them anymore. So a few months passed and Boeing found some fasteners, but now there is an industry-wide shortage of them. The prices are going way up while the supply chain adjusts and new manufacturers are found. Complicating everything is the tariff situation, which varies day to day and affects prices and delivery times for everyone doing anything. We can suppose here that the letters came back from Boeing suppliers, and Boeing executives learned that they were, in fact, buying a lot of fasteners from SPS. 40 parts that Boeing needs come solely from this company that just burned down in Philadelphia. So they're racing around for alternate sources, which will probably take 9 months or longer. 250 of SPS's employees were laid off after the fire. One might think here that since these multi-billion-dollar companies are so desperate for fasteners that this company has a monopoly on, they would quickly get a new plant up and running and get these people busy right now, getting production back online so the landing gear from Safran and Boeing don't fall off the plane. Because a normal business person knows that when a skilled technician loses his job, he'll find another one the next day somewhere else. It would be better for Boeing and GE to keep them around building nuts and bolts for airplane engines instead of going down the street to fix air conditioners. That's something business management students learn their first week. COMAC is a Chinese company, and they build a plane, the C919. Airlines across the world are taking a hard look at buying them because they can't get planes from Airbus and Boeing. The advantages to buyers are obvious. The C919 is more affordable, and they can get one in the first place. There are 2 airlines in Malaysia now that are in negotiations. Ryanair is the biggest airline in Europe, and their CEO, Michael O'Leary, said that they are also interested in buying them. The 919 is similar to the Airbus 320, and if the Chinese could make them available for a lower price, Ryanair is a buyer. They want the best value for their fleet. He doesn't care who builds a plane, Boeing, Airbus, COMAC, no matter. And he's got the same problems they have in Malaysia and at Air India and airlines everywhere else in the world. They can't get planes at all. Ryanair can't buy new aircraft from Airbus, at least at a price they like, until 2030 at the earliest. Ryanair has big plans for expansion, and they're a huge customer for Boeing, but Boeing can't build enough planes either. A U.S. Congressman read the quote from Mr. O'Leary and fired off a letter to bring to his attention the risks associated with the Commercial Aircraft Corporation of China and to raise concerns about his suggestion that Ryanair would consider purchasing their planes. Congressman, I'm not going to try that. I get enough hate mail already from the way I say names of places here in China. The congressman points out that Ryanair flies Boeing aircraft built in the United States, and COMAC is a Chinese company, just in case the CEO of the biggest airline in Europe doesn't know where planes come from. The congressman demanded answers to these 4 questions and an answer no later than 2 weeks later. A reminder that Michael O'Leary is not an American citizen, and Ryanair is a company in Ireland. Ryanair doesn't even operate in the United States. Michael O'Leary is just a big Boeing customer who can't get enough planes. So he's under no legal obligation to even read this letter, let alone consult with his legal team and public affairs people and put together a response before 15 May. So it was probably a surprise to everyone when Mr. O'Leary answered the very next day. He threatened to cancel his company's outstanding orders for hundreds of Boeing aircraft worth tens of billions of dollars if his prices go up because of the tariffs. The threat from one of Boeing's biggest customers was the latest signal of a reordering of global aerospace. Another analyst points out that the trade war between the US and Europe is raising prices for aircraft at Airbus and Boeing, and that represents a big opportunity for COMAC. The C919 is awaiting certification in Europe. Regulators there expect it to be approved for operation within the next few years, and O'Leary knows it, and COMAC knows it too. Ultimately, the aircraft will be certified, and he doesn't care who builds the thing as long as he can get it and the price is right. The experts who tell us about all these challenges that face COMAC going up against Airbus, and especially Boeing, they have everything wrong. In order to make sales and take market share, all COMAC has to be is minimally competent. As long as they aren't horrible at their job, they will sell planes as fast as they can build them. This is Jinan, Shandong. Be good. His co-workers and his family and his friends and his nation to Christ. Together we lift up the people of Asia. We pray that your